Hi everyone, it's your favorite Nurse Peju. We are live and it's official. So thank you for joining us. Yes. Thank you. All right, I am so excited. This is one of those things that you've been looking forward to. And finally, I was able to get Dr. Omololu after. I'm just glad she's here. Let's just start with that. All right. I am just really glad. But you know it, as your favorite nurse, I'm always looking for opportunities to make sure that I am serving my community and serving my crew because we want to stay healthy. We want to live life to the fullest. And as you can see, I know we're all getting more beautiful, but this body, we only get one body, and we need to make sure that we are taking good care of this body so that this body does last. So, that being said, everybody experiences some level of stress, but burnout is a whole different level. So wherever you are, so if you've been stressed and if you're overwhelmed, just go ahead and type in the comments so that way I know what is going on. So that way we can get started. So let's go ahead and get started. Again, I am really excited. I have Dr. Wumi Omololu. She is a very good friend of mine, and she is a medical doctor, but she specializes mainly in the respiratory health. Oh, I'm sorry, in the sexual health.
Sexual health. It's okay.
I'm sorry. She's focused. Let me say that again. She specializes in the sexual health, reproductive health. That's what I wanted to say. Goodness gracious, Paige.
It's okay. It's more of sexual health, but it's fine. You're allowed.
Yes. Yeah, reproductive, sexual, all of those things. But really, the main focus here is that life is real, stress is real. Now,
Sure.
burnout is just extra. So, what are those things and why is that a concern? And then Dr. Omololu is going to also shed more light on how our sexual health might be impacting our burnout or how we can even use it in all the signs. So, just a quick recap. When we talk about burnout, there are three different signs that we need to be on the lookout for. So, for starters, the main ideal, there are three main signs that you need to look out for. And the first one is just plain exhaustion. You're just exhausted. You go to sleep, you rest, you relax, and let's say you wake up, you had 7 8 hours of sleep, and then you wake up, you're still tired. I mean, everything just seems to be a drag. That's one very major sign. Then the second sign is detachment or loss of interest. So let's say things that used to bring you joy before, suddenly those things don't bring you joy anymore. Let's say you like to help people with certain things or certain tasks. Suddenly those tasks now they become more irritating. You're more easily irritated, more irritable, and you don't care. You're numb. You're just you're not just
All over the
enjoying it.
place.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm listening.
Oh yeah, yes. So that, and then the last sign, which is the three sign is the detachment. So what is that detachment? Detachment is all okay. I think we talked about the reduced performance and focus. So you start to lose focus. Your performance is not as great. So let's say you were someone that could get a task done within 30 minutes. Now suddenly 30 minutes is now becoming 2 hours. So that in itself are some of the cues that you will start picking up and noticing when you are having signs of burnout. So let's go over those three again. So they are exhaustion, detachment, and decrease in performance and focus. So I went over all of these things real quickly. However, how do we deal with this? So, as Nurse Peju, I believe when we're dealing with stuff, any area of our lives, everything is always categorized into four pillars. So, there's the physical pillar, there's the mental pillar, and then there's the emotional pillar, and then there's the wellness pillar. So, whatever we're trying to achieve, we can always get that in all those areas. Okay. All right. So now I am going to turn it over to Dr. Omololu. And we're going to start mainly with the physical pillars. So, you know how physical pillars is really when your body is just tired. You're tired. You're tired all the time. You sleep, you rest, and yet you're still tired. So, how do we deal with that? Like, and then how does that impact my sexual wellness? Really, is where we want to go with that.
Thank you very much, Meju. Thank you for the invitation. And I would say good morning, good afternoon, good evening to wherever you're watching from. It's
Yes,
very
make
good to
sure
be
you put it.
here. Thank you for having me. Thank you so much. So, the question you asked is really, really great. You know, a lot of times we throw about this word burnout, burnout, burnout. But what actually is burnout? There's a difference between burnout and being tired. Let's differentiate that first. Excuse me. So when you're tired, you know you need to rest. But burnout doesn't come in form of you are tired physically alone because it affects every aspect of your life, emotionally, physically, mentally, spiritually, if you must say that also. Like it affects every areas of your life. And burnout is a chronic stress. You have to understand that. It's not the stress, it's not the tiredness that you sleep for 8 hours, 9 hours, and you get up and you're like, oh, I'm refreshed. No, you sleep, you rest, but yet you're still tired. That's what burnout is. And since they affect every aspect of our lives or every areas of our of our individuality, and now you ask me, how does burnout show in physical health or in physical well-being as a through, in conjunction with sexual health? First of all, I'm going to tell you that when you are physically exhausted or tired or burnout, let's use that word burnout, let's stay on the word burnout. It shows in different ways. You begin to have low libido for both men and women. The desire is completely low. You are not desiring of yourself, of your partner. You don't even know what's going on in your body, so you can't name it. Can you hear me?
Yes. Can you hear
Okay.
me?
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear. So you don't even know what's going on in your body. But then in the female aspect, you begin to have, maybe dry vagina, apart from low libido, pain during sex. Then in the man's side, you have erectile dysfunction, you have, performance issue, low stamina. So all that comes in play for the physical aspect of what you experience when you're burnout in relation to your sexual health. So if I could put it that way, this thing did not just start. You didn't just wake up all of a sudden and it started. It's been gradual. It comes over the time. And why do you have this chronic stress? Is as a result of very high level of cortisol, which is your stress hormone. And remember, it's the same mechanism it's the same thing that happens, or the production of hormone in your body that produces that same stress hormones. And it's the same one that produces the sexual hormones, which is the testosterone and the estrogen in women. So when that is depleted, your cortisol level is high. Of course, your brain is going to first of all choose survival and not pleasure. So it's going to
That's
increase the level of cortisol in your body and not the pleasure hormones, which is, So that's where you get the that's where you get affected sexually when it comes to physical aspect of your life in relation to sexual health and burnout. So for now, I will say that it's a form of chronic stress and is increased or overwhelmed level of cortisol in your body. That's how you get there. And as I said, it will affect your sexual health in so many ways: vaginal dryness, pain during sex, irritability also. You have to put that in action. For the men, erectile dysfunction, low stamina, you know, performance anxiety, and all of that.
mm, well. Well, thank you for, defining that and explaining that further on what it is. So now, physically, so we already know burnout is going to affect us, right? Affect our libido, affect all of those things. So is there something that we can do physically that you would like to suggest, especially if we're trying to address the burnout like in the physical way?
Okay, yes, there is. First of all, I would advise that we sleep, we get sleep. We have
Okay.
to understand that sleep is our birthright. Sleep is not something you do when you've earned, it's not an award that you do after a productive day. No, your body sends signal to you when you need to rest. First of all, when you sleep, during sleep, your hormones are building. You have to remember that. So you need to sleep at least 8 to 9 hours a day, depending on your body system. You know your body. Some people will say, oh, my body functions with 4 hours of sleep. No, you're denying that part of your brain. You're really, really denying your body of good sleep. Because when you sleep, so many things happening are happening during your sleep, especially your hormones. So the cortisol level starts to decrease. So you have to understand that first and foremost, sleep is important. You have to sleep. Sleep. The secondly, I will say move your body. And you're not just eating the gym immediately because, oh, I haven't been to the gym and all of a sudden you start to lift every. No, just go as little as 20 to 30 minutes of daily walks. Just take your walk like you're going on a walk. Even if you go to the gym, maybe get on the treadmill. Just do some light exercise. Don't move your body rigorously and want to achieve what you haven't achieved in how many years. And suddenly you want to pick up all of that. No, take your time, like relax, take your time, do 20 to 30 minutes, stretch, and if you don't feel like going out, but I encourage that you go out because of the sun, you can, expose your body to the sun. You can also move in your living room. You can dance, play beautiful music that you like to dance with, to dance in your living room, stretch, just relax your whole body because your body needs it. And then thirdly, I'm going to say you should eat. You should eat to nourish your body, not just eat to fill your belly. No, eat to nourish your body, especially as we go older. So many things reduces the production of, the vital minerals and nutrients start to reduce in the kind of food we eat. So you have to be intentional about the food you put in your mouth. So go for the food that are rich in magnesium. Dark chocolate will help you to reduce your cortisol level. Leafy greens also will help you. So choose wisely what you put in your body because this is the only place you have to live. Your spirit has to live in this body. So you have to make sure you take good care of it. So be intentional about what you put in your mouth and what your body digests. It's very, very important. So I'm gonna say those three things. The first one is for you to sleep, rest well, let your body rest. Say no when you need to say no. No is a full sentence. Also, just don't keep taking on responsibilities that you cannot. You have to be able to draw the lines and say, I am tired and I need rest. Sleep and sleep. Remember, sleep is not an award of being productive. Sleep is not an award of being productive. I repeat, sleep is your birthright. So you have to rest. Rest when you need to rest. Secondly, move your body. Yes, move your body.
I
And
am moving
thirdly,
my
be
body.
intentional about what you put in your mouth. Be intentional about the food you eat. Dark chocolate will go a long way. Some nuts also, do researches on what you put in your body. Just don't go by the things I'm saying. Be intentional about what goes into your body. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Dr. Omololu. We definitely appreciate that. So, what I gathered is sleep, sleep, sleep. We cannot deceive ourselves about the importance of sleep. So
Yes, you
that's
can't.
that. And then, as far as the food, we need to be more intentional with quality over quantity. And we also have to understand that certain things work better for certain people. So you need to
True.
figure out what works better for you. And the last but not the least is move the body. But I said all I heard was that I should go dancing. So now I have a reason.
Yes, you should go dancing. Please dance, dance, dance. I
Yes,
don't know how. Guess what? I'm a
What?
very bad dancer, but guess what? I don't
What?
care. I still move my body. I
Oh,
still
really?
dance. Especially when I go to parties, I dance on the chair and you be like, this girl is a hot stepper. But when once I stand up, I might not I might not be that hot stepper you're expecting. But guess what? I will still dance. I would dance like, you know, I don't even worry about anything going on in the world right now. I have to dance and make my body happy. So dance, yes, it's important.
Okay. Well, thank you. I definitely am going to go dancing, and maybe we can help each other out in that dancing area because I love dancing.
We can enroll to a dancing class also.
Well, that too works. All right. All right. So now let's go to the mental wellness because that too is very, very important.
Yes.
And with the mental health, the same way we are concerned about the food we put in, we also have to be mindful what we allow in. And I think it's very, very important what you're listening to, what mindset you have or that you believe. You need to find ways to make sure that you engage in things that encourage that type of wellness. So, that being said, Dr. Omololu, what would you like for us to know about our mental health wellness?
You have to understand first thing foremost, your brain is the biggest sex organ in your body.
Oh,
Yes, your
okay.
brain. And I like the fact that you said you have to know what you're consuming, like what you listen to, what you see, and what, all these things boils down into your desires, into your desire, whether you like it or not. So you have to understand that once, your mental health is being depleted, is being affected, there's no way you're going to desire sex. You are going to look unattractive to yourself. You feel you're not worthy, you feel you're not worth it for your partner to even want to touch you because you're actually burnt out. You are burnt out completely. So you see yourself as a complete, like you dissociate yourself away from your body because there's no rest in your body, because you are tired, you are exhausted. And then your brain that is supposed to be feeding your desire, production of all those good hormones that your body needs for pleasure and all that is not there because you're actually mentally not there. And for you to be sexually experienced or sexually engaged in sexual activity, you yourself have to be aware of yourself and be vulnerable. Intimacy really goes a long way with your vulnerability. But when you can't do that because you're mentally not focused, you're mentally not stable, you're not going to help yourself. And it's not like you're mentally not stable because you have mental health issue. No, it's just because you are burnt out. You have to remember that your cortisol level is high up there. That is why. So there is no how your body is going to subdue to wanting to have sex. Anxiety is high. You have your respiratory rates being higher than normal. How do you succumb to you being relaxed and wanting to enjoy pleasure? It will not come. I'm sorry. Remember, your brain is your biggest sex organ. So if your brain is sending signals to your body that see we are in flight or fight mode, pleasure mode cannot come now. It's going to choose cortisone and it's going to continue to produce that cortisone in high level. But when you tend to relax and figure out things and know what's causing your burnout and all that, you can talk to your partner about it. I always say something, communication is key when it comes to sexual health. You have to communicate your desires, your wants, what's going on in your body. Because as we age, our body also changes. The desires and the wants we had yesterday is different from what we have today. And that's okay. We are humans and we have to understand that changes is something that is constant and it will continue to happen in our body.
Okay. Thank you. So, um, change is expected. So we need to also embrace the change, is really what this is. And it sounds like we also need to make sure we are listening to our body for what we need.
Yeah,
So when you start sensing that exhaustion, it's more important that we
exhaustion.
deal with the exhaustion and figure out what all those things are and be
Yes.
intent. So I know when they said you're dealing with with mental wellness, so it's more of taking deep breaths, like all those type of
Yeah.
exercises,
Yeah.
mindfulness, um, you know, things that kind of help decompress. And then also, what are you consuming, whether it's virtually, when you're going on
Whether
social
it's internally,
media.
yeah.
Exactly. So those type of things, they all matter. And I mean, when we do all of these things, ideally that should help improve the sexual wellness part, correct?
Yes, it should. You should, I would recommend when it comes to mental health and, you know, and sexual health, because both of them are interwoven. They are inseparable. You cannot separate it. Remember, a woman that is experiencing anxiety will have dry vagina. A man that is experiencing anxiety will have performance anxiety. You can't even last long in bed. There's erectile dysfunction. The woman is experiencing painful sex. All sort of things are happening, or she feels so like her body is no longer hers anymore. She doesn't know what she's experiencing. She can't even express herself emotionally and all of that. So first thing first that you need to do, breath work. I like the fact that you said that breath work. It sounds very simple, but taking deep breath from your belly, like from your belly and out, it's just for 5 minutes. I'm telling you, it sounds very, you know, I'm just breathing. Can you, as I'm talking to you, I'm breathing, but I'm not aware of me breathing. But this breath work shows that you become intentional about breathing. Your breath, you are counting it. You are breathing from your belly out. It sounds simple, but it's not. It really, really works when it comes to anxiety and all of that. Do you understand? That's one thing. The second thing, you said it already. You have to detoxify yourself from digital, everything we are watching, everything we are seeing online. You have to first of all cleanse it. Maybe before bedtime, take your time and say, before bedtime, I'm going to do a 5 or 10 minutes of breath work, and maybe 30 minutes before I go to bed, or an hour before I go to bed, I am going to I'm going to try as much as possible not to use my phone.
Dr. Malumi. Hello. All right. All right. So while Dr. Omololu is joining us back, I believe we're experiencing a little bit of some technical difficulties over at the moment. Um, what she was saying was that we really need to be intentional when it comes to our mental wellness, because that would also affect the sexual performance. So you cannot say you are whole and everything is working out.
I'm so sorry, I lost you because someone was trying to
Yeah,
connect. Someone was trying to connect with me saying they couldn't join online, and I don't know why that is.
really.
Yeah, do you mind putting out the link on the chat box here so that I could share it? Huh? Mm.
Um, it would be the YouTube. Um, yeah, I just sent you the link actually. Let me send it to you.
Where did you send it to?
I'll send it to you on WhatsApp. So
Okay.
yeah, try. They should try now and see.
Um, Okay. Let me send it to her because she was the one that interrupted our she interrupted our.
Let's see.
Let me put it also on my WhatsApp status so I don't have many people disturbing me with a phone call.
Okay, that's fair.
And I guess also on, where else do we put it? Instagram?
Yeah, anywhere. Facebook, Instagram, all of the above.
Okay. How do we do that? I've lost touch so much on
I
Instagram. Okay, I
Yes.
think it's like this.
I think whatever we did fine worked, so we should be.
Okay, now I can't even do it.
It looks like
Do we have people online? Like, do we have people? Can you see if people joined us?
no, it's already streaming directly as we speak. So it should be once they get the link, they should be able to just view it.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes, we have. Yeah, I can see people. Well, I can see.
Okay, let's continue. People can always come back to watching it much later if they don't get the chance to
Yeah.
join now. Because I believe some people will still be in church in here in America, but people
Yes.
in Nigeria can easily, hop on it. So I think I stopped by when I was talking about the breath work, how important it is that you should do it before
Hmm.
bedtime. And is it recorded? Can we still get it to
Yes.
post much later? Okay.
Yes,
So
it is.
okay, excuse me. So
Mhm.
about the breath walk, take your time and say 30 or an hour before bedtime, I'm going to do my breath walk. And 30 minutes before I go to bed, I'm not going to be on social media. I'm not going to consume what's going on in the world and just put everything inside of me, which is you scrolling, 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 and digesting all the things that that your body doesn't need. You have to take away that. And you have to promise yourself it's something you have to do for yourself and say, okay, 30 minutes before bedtime, there's no scrolling. I'm just going to lie still. And, then pick up a book, have your journal. Could you remember when we were in secondary school, how we used to have diaries?
Yep.
Yes. That thing
You know
helped
what?
us a lot and we didn't know. We were just writing, thinking it was, how do I put it? It's what's in vogue. It wasn't just what was in vogue. It was something that was helping us to express ourselves, to just let things off our shoulder unknowingly, because we were doing it unknowingly. But now it's an habit that we have to bring back. Journaling is very important before bedtime. Write just three sentences. You don't need anything. You don't need a whole paragraph. Just three sentences, and just ask yourself this question: what stress did my body experience today? That's number one. Number two, what am I grateful for? What happened to me today that I'm grateful for? Then number three, what do I need tomorrow? Just write those three things down. It just helps you to declutter your mind.
Okay. It's interesting you actually said that because am definitely a living witness of how journaling can heal. And through that journey, I if you've seen some of my YouTube videos, you will see that I have journals available, at least those that are prompted to help guide that process, because that was something that significantly helped my well-being, which is one of the reasons why I'm quite passionate, because I experienced exhaustion significantly, and it was a turning point. I really needed to figure out to do things differently, which is why we're here today, Dr.
Yes.
Omololu, because we have to preach. Sometimes when you go through stuff, you think you're the only one, which is
Only
not
one.
true.
Hmm.
It's just a matter of figuring out what works best for me, and that in itself was one of those things that helped me find my way back to light and life in fullness. So that is
Interesting.
why we're preaching that today.
Yes, and we
Yeah.
everybody should like do those three things for your
Yeah.
mental health. It will help you. Like it might sound simple, but I'm telling you, it will help you. Like I have some patients that have anxiety, and something as little as just putting ice cube on their cheek, on their forehead, even on their body, just it just takes that anxiousness. It just takes it away, and it reduces their heart rate. Like he reduces it so much. So it might sound little, it might sound like I'm already doing it, but it's not working. You are doing it because you are doing it like something that is autonomous, like I'm just doing it like a robot. Start doing it intentionally. You have to be intentional about your health. You have to be intentional about your well-being. You're not just, it's just like, I'm waking up, I'm going to work, I don't like the job I'm doing, but I'm still waking up, I'm still doing it so that I can fulfill my, obligations to pay my bills and all that. But when you become intentional, you wake up today and say, today is going to be a beautiful day. I will look around and see everything and make sure everything is beautiful, because everything is actually beautiful. So you become intentional about what you want and what you want to see and how you want to appreciate life. So everywhere you go, even when somebody annoys you, you'll be like, okay, it's one of those things, but you fine, you good. Somebody stepped on you, you know yourself. You start to rake and be angry. But suddenly you said, you good, don't worry about it, I'm fine. You become intentional about yourself, and it actually helps you mentally also. So it's not just in the bedroom alone, it helps in every area of your life.
That's true. Well, thank you, Dr. Molulu. All right. So now we need to talk about the emotional wellness. So
Hmm.
emotional one is, I guess that's another area where you feel the exhaustion. So the
Yes.
emotional is like the feeling. Um, and the way I look at this, I feel like a lot of times our emotional wellness or well being or issues are almost self imposed because we expose ourselves to so much, but then we do very little. So for the emotional wellness, I think is when you focus more on how you're feeling and allow yourself to experience those feelings,
Yeah.
and also create opportunities that allow you to feel those positive feelings.
Yeah.
So when I'm thinking about that, I'm thinking, okay, what am I doing to make myself feel a certain way? Like, how am I deliberately creating an environment to create happiness? Am I participating in things that actually bring joy? Am I, am I resting? How am I invested? What am I focusing on? And that's where gratitude kind of comes in. Because no matter what we do or where we are doing or wherever we find ourselves, there's got to be something that we're thankful for. And I think that's the very first start. So, doctor, how would you say we do this better to, experience a better, experience our sexual health better?
Okay, so when it comes to emotions, whether we like it or not, it also has to play with comes to play in our sexual health. A woman, for once, will not, if she's not emotionally safe with a man, she would not connect. I mean, sexually, she won't connect. So it boils down with our own intentionality and the man's intentionality also. And these things will not just creep in, just all of a sudden you see. It's something that comes in gradually. You become irritable. The things you did before, you no longer enjoy doing it at all. You completely just feel like, ah. And I think it happened to so many people during COVID lockdown, and everybody was just, emotionally not just there. People were not ready for what happened to the world. And so
It was
everybody kind of
emotionally very
ex-
exhausting.
ex- thank you very much. For me, I really, really felt it, and I was like, "Oops." But me being intentional also helped me. So you have to actually be intentional and know that, because when you are emotionally depleted, number one, first thing first, I said it earlier. I said you take on things that you know that you cannot do, or you are tired, you are burnt out, but you just keep taking because you want to please other people. The first person you need to please is yourself. And I will say something. You cannot pour for an empty cup. My cup has to be full before I pour. If my cup is empty or if my cup is halfway, pouring is going to drain me. Because imagine I have a cup of water and it's just halfway, and then I pour, pour, pour. I'll be empty, and then I'll be drained, and suddenly I'll become irritable. Um, Yoruba people mark me unkonra. You start to
Yeah.
nag. Men will call it nagging.
Yeah.
You just become very irritable. Little things starts to irritate you. So this is where intentionality, I'm still going to say this is where intentionality will come to play. Because intimacy without emotional safety, vulnerability, openness, it cannot work. So you have to ask yourself first, What are the things that are making me irritable? What are the things that I don't like? What are the things that are making me like this? It's a personal question. Why am I disconnected away from my body? Then, why am I disconnected away from my partners? What's going on with me?
Hmm.
Then, once you are able to know what's going on with you, it's now your responsibility to carry on that conversation to your spouse, and you guys can talk about it. And I'm not asking for you to talk about it, for you to rebuild connection or emotional safety. Just sit down for 2 hours and talk about it. No, little, little talk throughout the day, and you have to let that other person, you have to let your spouse understand that it is not them, it is you now, because you are the one feeling the emotion. These are the things that are strong, that is going on with my body. That is, I'm burnt out. Name it. Once you're able to name what's going on in your body, then the conversations start to happen little by little, little by little. But when you're not able to name it, when you're not able to open up yourself and become vulnerable to your spouse, then intimacy is not going to happen. I'm sorry. So
So
it still
how
comes down to communication.
true. But how do we build that back gradually?
How do you build it back gradually?
Yeah.
Text
Well, how do we
message,
build it back? Period.
communication,
Mm-hmm.
text message, communication. You start small. You start to do, first of all, start doing the things you enjoy doing. Because now it's you, it's about you. Your emotions are yours, not your spouse's own. They are for you, they are your own. Once you acknowledge that you are feeling the way you are feeling, okay, why am I feeling this way? Is it because I take on too much responsibility at work? And then when I get home, I'm exhausted. I can't even function. Start cutting down the overload that you're taking at work. Or time management, prioritize everything. What you know other people can do, delegate. Don't just say I'm the boss and then I have to take on everything on my plate. No. Prioritize, delegate, let people do things. It reduces the amount of stress you put on yourself. If it's home cooking that is stressing you, please outsource it to somebody that can. I'm telling you, outsource it to somebody that can help you. There's no shame in it. You have to understand this is what your body need at this moment, and you have to help your body. Because if you don't help yourself, how do you connect to your spouse? You can't. And once you're able to name it, you're able to recognize it, then you start finding ways to deal with those little, little nuances, those stress that piles up. Then you will now be able to communicate to your spouse. This is what I'm going through. Work is stressful. I'm taking on a lot. I'm learning how to say no when I need to say no. And I tell people, if you don't have to explain your yes, you should never have to explain your no. Because a no is a full sentence. You say no to something, that's no.
All right. Thanks. I believe what I heard in this really is allow yourself to hear yourself. That's the first part.
Yes.
Because if we stay in denial or feeling like if we don't accept there's a problem, then we won't even be able to deal with the problem first. So first thing is acknowledging that there is a need or there is a gap.
Yes.
First acknowledge that, and then you can take it from there, but it starts with you. Because most women, we're always wired that, oh, we have to do for everybody else.
Yeah,
But
we think productivity is just is there's an award for it. No, there's none.
but you have to start with you. And until you acknowledge what you is lacking, then it doesn't really matter what anybody else does or say or do.
Thank
So
you.
I believe that's the message I am getting from this.
Hmm.
Okay. All right.
Yes.
All right. Okay. So now that we've covered the emotional part, I believe spirituality is very, very essential.
Yes.
And spirituality is not just, I mean, a lot of people tend to mix spirituality with religion. In my opinion, and what I believe spirituality means is having a belief in an higher being and being connected to something that is way bigger than you are. In whatever we say, there is definitely that some connection or something that brings some level of ease. For me, with prayer, And if you have to pray, a lot of religions have to pray, and a lot of religions recommend meditation. Those two are very, very essential. Now, how do we link that with our sexual well-being?
Okay, first thing first, spirituality, you said it all, is connecting to a higher being, but you have to also be in alignment with yourself. That's one. Two, sex is spiritual, whether we like it or not. Yes, the body is participating, and
True.
there's the spiritual realm. There's a spiritual thing going on in the spiritual realm because it's energy exchange, and you can't see energy, but you can feel it.
True.
That's why they say when somebody walks into a room, I feel that their energy, I feel something about them. It's the same way too. So when you're not spiritually in alignment, you said it all. It's not. This is not religion. This is spirituality. When you are spiritually not in alignment with your body, with your higher self, with the higher power you believe in, sex cannot happen. Intimacy cannot form in any way. And this comes from the feeling of emptiness. I feel empty. I feel exhausted. You can't even pray. You can't even meditate. You are not just in alignment with yourself. All the things you did before, you no longer enjoy doing them. We are spiritual beings. Yes, we this are our spirit lives in this body that we can hold, this physical body that we can hold. And that's why we talked about the physical aspect of it. Then the spiritual aspect, you have to be in, in alignment with your body and know that I want to play, I want my pleasure. I want to, and of course, my body needs pleasure. Your husband also, or your spouse also needs his own pleasure also. But that alignment, what it looks like outside of you, does it match what is inside of you? You have to make sure that it's connected for you to be able to connect with your spouse and say, okay, I'm feeling like this. This is what I'm feeling. This is what I'm feeling. You wake up tired. You wake up exhausted. You wake up not even feeling like you have a purpose in life anymore. These are the things you can talk about to your spouse. These are the things you can meditate upon and say, you know, ask God to help you release the answers. What can I do to better improve my spirituality? And you get to a level of place. First of all, awareness matters. When you are aware of yourself, then obviously spirituality will just flow, it will align. But once you are not aware of yourself, or you don't think you're a spiritual being, there's a problem. But I'm not here to talk about the problem today. I'm just going to focus on you. Be in alignment to your body. Be aware of what's going on in your body and connect to however you believe your spirituality is, you are linked to your spirituality. You said it all. Prayer, meditation, reading the word of God, meditating on it in your mind or out loud. And let your partner also understand, because there was a time I was in that phase where Peju, I couldn't just bring myself to pray. I was exhausted. I was completely burnt out. I couldn't pray. I couldn't even say the Lord's Prayer. You know how we recite it when we're in primary school that you rush through it? I couldn't. Maybe Max, what I would say is the Lord is my shepherd. Just that sentence alone. And it's good by me. But later I started catching myself that, okay, what's going on? I started, being aware of this is unlike me. This is not me. I can go on in a prayer session or in meditation or praise and worship for a long time, and suddenly I couldn't do it anymore, or I lost interest doing it. What's going on? So I came back to myself. I came back to my being, and I became aware because I was able to come back to myself, to have self-awareness and be like, okay, this is not me. What's going on here? I started picking on those things small, small. Then I started doing those things back gradually. I didn't just say, oh, I kabash for 10 hours. That's prayer. Or I spoke in tongue for 5 hours nonstop. No, I started with the little things. Started reading one chapter of the Bible or one verse of the Bible. I started, it was gradual and I didn't beat myself to it. So people have to understand that there is no race. You are not in competition with anybody. And your pace, what your body can allow or what your body can take, what you are able to take. Because if you are running to, oh, I have to finish the Bible in a year, and you are skipping, or you're even reading it, but you don't even know what you are reading. You're reading like you're reading a novel, but you're not reading it to, you read a verse and let the word of God, you're not meditating on that verse that you have read to be able to download things from the spirit world. Then what are you reading for? Why are you deceiving yourself? Why, there's no competition. So you have to understand that. You have to slow down to be able to say, okay, this is what I'm feeling, awareness, and then this is the way out of this feeling that I've locked myself into. Then connect to, as you said, connect to your higher powers, what you believe in, connect to it, and start to, bit by bit, communication also to your spouse. Because these people are not magicians. They can't read us. They don't know what we are going through. Likewise, we also can't read them too. When a man is grumping and just looking sad, you just believe, it's either you believe there's somebody else or you believe it's work stress. You are not putting yourself and saying, can it be something that is going on in his, in his physical body or even in his spiritual life? What's going on? So it comes to communication. We have to communicate. We have to talk to one another and we have to be able to help one another. Because real life is different from what we see on the screen, what we see in movies, and what people bring to us on social media is completely different. You have to know what works for you and do what works for you. It comes down to still self awareness.
Wow, thank you. Sometimes I really think the most important part is being able to talk about this. And we have to start from the awareness part. And I believe sometimes with the way the society is geared, especially with women like us, the expectation is so high and you don't even give yourself the permission to breathe or to be you. So
To be
there's
still.
exactly to be still. Thank you. That's the
To
real
be
word.
still. Like we have a
Exactly.
problem being still. All of us.
And there's and you know what? Let's be still. And it's just as necessary as not being still.
Even the Bible tells us that, be still and know that I am God. Huh? But we want to do everything. We want to. Oh, life
Well,
is funny.
if there's one thing to be wanting to do everything, then there's another thing to be able to do everything.
Mm,
And nobody is able to do everything.
mm-mm.
And it's just a reality that we have to accept. And we
Yeah.
also have to accept the reality, mainly at least as women, that we are changing. We have different phases, our body, our hormones, all of that is going to change. And life itself is also changing. And we have to adapt and we have to accept to be still. Again, burnout is real, and burnout can damage your body, yourself in
Mm.
so many ways. In so many ways, and it's real. It can have physical impacts. You can end up in the ER. I just don't want you to end up in the ER before you actually realize this is happening. So, if you are a woman or a man out there and you're experiencing any of these signs, which is exhaustion, detachment, low performance, it's time to start paying attention to what those things are, because the outcome or the negative consequence of that, you might not want to pay that FT price. So let's pay the small prices and be real intentional at this point in time before it becomes something extra. is really where we're going with this. And
Mm.
the benefit of that is also ensuring that we are able to live life to the fullness. Our sexual wellness is also part of life, and we should be able to enjoy that too. There is no age limit on how your sexual life should be enjoyed. As long as you take care of yourself first, this is something that it's supposed to be enjoyable for as long as it can be.
You desire.
Exactly, as long as you desire. Thank you. That's the word. All right. So, again, all I gathered from here is, I mean, not all, I gathered a lot, but I really want to just summarize what I gathered, which was, let's start with the awareness first. Once we acknowledge and we're aware, then we can be quite intentional about how we deal with it. And then give ourselves permission to deal with it and be still, like Dr. Omololu says, and
Yeah.
enjoy life. And I also have to add with the journaling, if you're interested and you need some assistance, please check out my Amazon page. I have 5 different journals that are well prompted to guide with journaling. I am a living testimony of how journaling can help. I believe it. I believe. That's all I can say. And it has helped me. It has healed me. It has helped with my productivity, my
Activity.
creativity, just my wellness too as a whole. Because, sometimes you have to figure out what works and give yourself permission. So I want to say thank you. All right. So, Dr. Molulu, now that you've shared all of this, what is the one thing you want us to hold on to for all of this, with all of this that you've shared?
I want you to hold on. First thing first, be still. Be aware of what's going on in your body. Your body just doesn't wake up one day and decide that there's no more libido. Or no, it's something that has been accumulating over time. So, first of all, be aware, be still, then going through that awareness, be aware of your body, what's going on in your body, what's going on in your being as a whole. Once you're aware of that, start looking for ways to manage those things that, causing you to be burnt out. You have to start learning how to manage them. But one thing first is communication. There's something I say, for you to break a shame or a guilt or a secret, the first thing first is to name it. And when you name it, you have to speak it.
Name it and speak it
Speak it
out.
or write it or however you can bring it out of your body. You have to.
I'm going to write that down. Speak it.
So, okay, name it.
Name
Name
it.
it. Oh, I'm burnt out. Find a close friend, your spouse, somebody you trust that you can share what you're experiencing in your body. And you have to understand also, as we go older, our body changes, our estrogen level starts to drop. That's something that every woman experiences at some point in life. And every man also experiencing the decline of testosterone also. Find somebody you can talk about. So these things, as they decline, they show up in our day-to-day life, whether we like it or not. There are subtle signals that our body starts to drop in our body, that we start to notice those things. You notice it, you know your body, you know the way your body functions on a normal day, and you start to see those changes, start dropping in, start naming them. The moment you start naming what you're experiencing, you take away that guilt, that shame. You take it away, because high achieving women, there's something we call high achieving depression, high functioning depression,
Really? What's that?
especially for women, because we are high achievers. We want to achieve, we keep moving, we are burnt out, but we are still moving. Like it's a race, it's a competition, we take on more, we just keep taking on more, but our body is already sending us signal and telling you, girl, slow down. Like, but no, you have to impress the next person that you can function. You are doing it, you are getting there, because there's an award for it somewhere. But your body is already telling you this award is not going to replenish your body back. Slow down, but you are not, you are ignoring it. Then you're functioning, you're going to work, you are doing everything you need to do, but you are depressed, you're not happy. because you are taking on so much. You refuse to set boundaries. You refuse to say no when you mean to say no.
Mm.
That's the problem. But we know ourselves, Eju. We all know ourselves. So individuality, you know who you are. My body is different from your body, Peju. That's why some women will say, oh, they are on their menstrual flow, they have menstrual cramp. Some will say they are throwing up, they are stooling, they are vomiting. And another person will say, man, I don't even experience all of that. Thank God, I'm fine. So he or she knows her body rather. So all of a sudden, the things she was not experiencing, she starts to experience it. Is it
Mm.
not a clue for her to say, okay, what's causing this thing? Let me go see my doctor. Let me find out what's the reason for all of these changes. Do you understand? So you have to be aware of your body. Name it. Name whatever you're experiencing in your body. Don't be ashamed. Don't be shy. Your spouses, be vulnerable with your spouse. Name it. Once you name it, then you can find solution for it because you're able to express what's going on in your body.
Mm. Thank
And it's
you.
okay too if you can't even if you cannot name it, express it. Because sometimes we can't name what you're experiencing, what you're feeling, but we are experiencing it and we can express it and say, okay, I'm feeling this way, but you don't know what it is.
Okay.
Sometimes that happens. So express it.
Okay.
Name it, express it however you want to put it.
Mm.
Write it down, speak it. Doesn't matter.
I am going to hold on to that. So you hear it, everybody. Name it. Name it. If you can't name it, find a way to express it. And that's where the healing or treat well, that's where the healing starts from.
Start from.
All right. So thank you. And you can find Dr. Omololu, where can we find you online if we want to follow up with you or reach out to you?
You can find me on at Wumi Omololu on Instagram, at Wumi Omololu on TikTok. You can also email me wumiomololu@gmail.com also. However, and then you can also find me on this particular YouTube channel also at I Evolve Aware, I Evolve Wellness. Because
Okay.
yes, we are evolving. So you can find
Yeah,
me there
we are
too.
evolving, and I will put that in the description below. So, all right, thank you, Doctor. It's definitely been a pleasure. I enjoyed everything today, and I
Mhm.
definitely learned more. And it's always nice to have a different perspective and just see what is out there. And that way, our community can continue to grow in wellness in full wellness, the fulfillment of it, and not just a little here, a little, and then you're depleted in another area totally. So it's a full, well-round wellness program. So don't forget your pillars, everybody, regardless of what it is that you're going through. Okay. All right. So we're going to call it a day and thank Dr. Mololu for joining us. And we will see you sometime soon.
Thank you
Bye,
very much for
everyone.
having me. Thank you, everyone. Bye. Have a good
Bye.
evening wherever
Bye.
you're watching from, and have a good day also, because
Yes,
my
have a
day
good
is just about to
day.
start. All right, then. Bye,
Bye.
everyone.